Assalamu alaikum. Um, I am Syed Tariq Ahmed. I'm a KIC innovation specialist. My talk is on a pathway to deep tech startups. Are you a researcher? Are you a young scientist? Are you a professor? Or are you a student of science and engineering? And you're working on something passionately, and you believe that this has a commercial value, then KIC or Khalifa Innovation Center is the right platform where you can get associated with. KIC provides the business, financial, marketing, legal side that will help your startup to move forward and become something mature in the UAE. So let me give you an insight of what Khalifa Innovation Center is. So Khalifa Innovation Center is backed by 5 founding members: Tawazun, Sanduq Al-Watan, Khalifa Fund, Mubadala, Khalifa University. And all of them, somewhere down the line, have been associated with the deep tech and the startup ecosystem in multiple different capacities. But as they have been for multiple number of years, they found that there is a specific gap in the deep tech startup ecosystem that Khalifa Innovation Center can go ahead and play. And this gap is specifically with research and startup discovery and commercialization of that aspect. So it's not about the research grants that you get, but it's about looking at the research that is done and commercializing them as a startup. So Tawazun, for example, helps out in the defense sector and provides connections that are required so that the startup in KIC can go ahead and commercialize with that network. Sanduq Al-Watan and Khalifa Fund have been pioneering the startup ecosystem in Abu Dhabi, and they have the know-how of how startups work in this region, and they bring in that know-how to KIC. Mubadala has been doing multiple things around the startup ecosystem and specifically in the deep tech, in the research and in the mature stage. And this is a space where they feel there is a gap, and they are bringing their support mechanism to KIC in looking at how discoveries can be commercialized. And Khalifa University, and this Khalifa University is the space, is the place where a lot of research is happening. There are about hundreds of patents that are registered, and there is commercial value to it. And it's one of the universities that has opened up its network in terms of licensing these research, and that helps out in embarking on the deep tech startup journey for whoever wants to license it out from the university and take it forward as a startup. So what is deep tech? And it's important to know it's different from all the other sectors that exist. It's an extension of what you're doing in the university, in the research center, in your science and engineering domain, and looking at how that can become a business. So Deep Tech is a startup company with the express objective of providing technology solution based on substantial scientific or engineering challenge. Deep Tech presents challenges requiring lengthy R&D and a large-scale capital investment before successful commercialization. The underlying scientific or engineering problem being solved by deep tech companies generate valuable intellectual property and are hard to reproduce. Khalifa Innovation Center has this understanding that and is aligned to the cause of how deep tech can go ahead and be commercialized. And for that, we have built 3 mechanisms or 3 programs that will help deep tech startups on towards their commercialization journey. KIC Bootcamp program. It's a 6-day program focused on understanding legal and business aspects of the startup. It's about idea scoping. It's about understanding the IP landscape where your startup lies. It's about understanding the technology to market roadmap and your business model. And then we provide introduction to the startup ecosystem and how, as a deep tech startup, you can navigate through this ecosystem. And eventually, at the end of this bootcamp, we would let you pitch in a startup style pitching session to our founding members. And that'll be the initial insight that you would start to then build onto your commercialization journey. KIC incubation program, and this is a 12-week program focused on specifically 3 stages: legal and startup essentials, customer engagement, and investor readiness. So moving forward from the bootcamp, where you have an understanding of what are the business and legal aspects of the startup, here we focus on actionable items where you can go ahead and put forth a roadmap for your legal and business requirements, and KIC helps you in executing them in a way that you become a startup, you become a legal entity, and then we move to the second phase, which is customer engagement, where unlike you wearing a university or researcher or a student hat, you wear a startup hat and you go and reach out to these customers and engage with them in a holistic way, not just technology, but the business side as well, and the legal side included. And you pitch to them and start to get validation around your business model. And as you get validation around your technology and your business, you start to run and you start to utilize them and use them as your pilots. And this gives you a lot of information, and this information comes back into how you can enhance your technology and your business side to make it much more scalable. And the last phase is investor readiness. And this is a phase where where based on your customer engagement, you're able to understand your unit economics. This is very important, understanding the unit economics. And this is done at a real life scenario rather than in the labs. And based on that, you could go ahead and KIC supports you in that journey, is build your startup valuation. And now you're much more competent to go ahead and pitch to investors in a way that this is my problem that I'm solving, this is the solution, this is how big my market size is, and these are my competitors in this space. This is the traction or validation that I have received. And this is what I believe is the journey that I want to go ahead and achieve on my startup commercialization. And here is the fund that I need. And it makes it easier for investors to understand where you are and how they can engage and be beneficial for you. The KIC Accelerator program, and this is much more for startups that have worked with a customer and have an understanding of the know-how, how it's working, and now they want to scale up. And on your scale-up journey is where we provide you mentorship, we provide you access to the investor network, and also access to business development. Eventually, we help you on your growth and help you become financially sustainable. So what are the KIC has a number of services that we provide, but all these services are encapsulated in programs because we at KIC understand that at a specific stage that you are in as a startup, there are multiple needs, and these services need to be provided in a specific manner for the stage that you are in. And so all these services are collectively encapsulated to be provided in your bootcamp, in the accelerator program, and in the incubation program. So let me take forward the services that we have. Technology acceleration and product development. This is more focused on customer engagement. So you have an MVP, you have a product in place, now you're validating it with the customer, and then you see that there are insights that the customer is providing that will help you enhance your product offering and eventually your business value. On your intellectual property, at the start of your journey, during your journey, there are a lot of intellectual property that you would be creating. And KIC has the mechanism where you can go ahead and get those legal insights required and secure so that you could have a unique selling proposition with your IP as your uniqueness. On your business model, and this is where you need to look at how you have to position yourself with the customer. It's not about you just providing the technology. It is about you becoming part of something we call as co-development and creating that advocacy around making sure that your business value is understood. And that may require you to co-develop with someone, that may require you to find a partner so that the full potential of your business value can go ahead and be showcased to that end user or that customer. And KIC with its know-how helps you in identifying your business model in a way that is much more foolproof and robust so that you can go ahead and commercialize your startup. Investment cycles. We have the understanding of what is pre-seed investment for deep tech startups, what is seed investments for deep tech startups, what is the other stages, which is Series A, B, but specifically with the lens of deep tech. And it's a different investment cycle, but a comprehensive one that will support your startup journey. And the entrepreneurship and mentorship support. KIC team, the team KIC has collectively on the deep tech and the startup side has about 50 years of experience together and have the know-how, the mechanism, the insights on how best we can position you so that you can be on the path of scale. And those are the services that are provided through the program. And investor pitching. So we have a network of investors and they have their own needs and they have their own domains they play in. And we make sure that you pitch to investors which have the know-how and the understanding and are curated by KIC so that there is a proper understanding and match that happens when you pitch to investors. So if you are a researcher in one of the research centers in UAE, you are doing some research as part of a government entity or a government affiliated unit in an innovation center. You are a young graduate who has worked and is passionate about some scientific research that he has done and wants to take it forward in a path of a startup. Or you are a professor in a research center looking at there is commercial value and you want to license it out to a dynamic individual who can take it forward in a startup journey. KIC is for you. And how do we take it forward? There's an application form, which is at khalifainnovation.ae. You can go ahead and apply there. We map you to an appropriate program based on where you are and what you have achieved. We provide you a lot of mentorship and access to the industry collaboration and investments. So to give you an insight of what KIC has achieved until now, we have received about 189 applications, and a prominent role is being played not only online, but also through the founding partner network, through referrals. And based on these applications, we have successfully run bootcamp programs, and we have about 14 bootcamp startups, We have run incubation programs. We have about 14 incubated startups. And we have run accelerator program, and we have about 3 successful startup in the accelerator phase. And eventually what we want to do is 2 things. One, KIC positions itself as the deep tech startup ecosystem around it. So it's not just startups, but like-minded individuals coming together and creating an ecosystem. 2, it's the founders, and we are very much focused on being the founder first kind of mindset. We want these founders to become leaders and be part of the success story and galvanize a lot many more deep tech startups that will follow in the years to come. I'll just highlight a few of our startups to give you an understanding of where they are and how they are providing a lot of benefit to the UAE ecosystem. So the first startup in our portfolio is SPL. And SPL focuses on specifically modernizing the legacy system. And how do they do that? So it focuses on data. In a traditional data migration exercise that a business would take forth, where they are moving from legacy system to something which is an upgraded system, it takes about 6 to 12 months. And SPL has been able to crack this space where they're able to provide automated tools that will help do this data migration at 80% less time. And this saves a lot of effort and money for the business. They are currently they have done their product validation, they are currently signing commercial deal, and they are well positioned for a market entry. It's run by Salwa, who is a researcher in one of the research centers in the UAE. And she had the passion to take this research forward and commercialize it into other sectors which could have value towards it. And if you are a research person and you have that passion that Salwa has, KIC is the right place for you to go ahead and apply. Rest Hero. And this is a startup that focuses on bringing up to speed on digitization for a lot of F&B outlets. And this is at the face what they are. And they have been able to go ahead and get about 75 F&B outlets to sign up, and they're able to bring them up to speed on their digital journey. But if you look one step back, what they are trying to do, and it's an interesting thought process, is where they're trying to optimize the supply chain and the inventory around what these F&Bs go ahead and do. And this way, Rest Hero is helping them reduce waste, which is actual food waste. And that has 2 aspects to it. So currently they are partnered with food banks, and they're looking at how this wastage can be compensated. But eventually what they want to do is help enhance and for these F&Bs to understand that they need to become sustainable and reduce that waste. And this is all done through data. And Abdullah Shimri, who recently got his PhD in AI, Dr. Abdullah Shimri, is pioneering the space. And he found that, this is a real pain that existed, where there's so much food wastage. And he's able to go ahead and provide a platform that can help do this and enhance something which is very core of what human beings are, where we don't want to waste food and that is being cooked, right? And if you are a student, a PhD student, passionate about, in the science and technology space, engineering space, you're passionate about something that you want to go ahead and do, and it's aligned to DeepTech, Khalifa Innovation Center is for you, and you need to come ahead and apply to KIC. This is the last startup in our portfolio that I'll showcase. I will not go ahead and show you all our portfolio, but this is the last one that I want to show you insight on. Marp. And MARP, this is a company that licensed out a university research on fetal phonogram and put it up as a business where they are now commercializing it. And this is led by a young and dynamic person called Syed. Now, he was able to come to Khalifa University and license out a patent in a domain that he was interested in. And now he is taking forward the business, the marketing, the financial and legal commercialization with the support of the inventor in the university who is helping them be the subject matter expert. And what they have done, they have been able to test this fetal phonogram on about 100 pregnant women, which is their target audience. And they have been able to do this at two Abu Dhabi hospitals through the help of nurses. Their eventual goal is to have this device off the shelf from pharmacy where people can pick it up and provide it to pregnant women who can use this at their home setup and get to know the vitals of the fetus and also of the mother. And this way, there is less anxiety or apprehension about what's happening inside for the pregnant woman. So if you are a researcher, a seasoned researcher who has research and you see there is commercial value to this, but you believe that you could position yourself as more the subject matter expert and want to license this out and let some young dynamic person take the business forward, Khalifa Innovation Center is for you. Or if you are this young dynamic person and you have the understanding of the business and the startup life cycle, and you are very passionate about one specific sector, then you could approach Khalifa Innovation Center, and we would be much obliged to map you to a research that could be commercialized. So if you are part of the DeepTech, and if you are in the university setting and you have a science and engineering background, we would love to hear what you have and how you want to go forward in this journey. Eventually, Khalifa Innovation Center wants to do two things. One, create a smooth and a seamless deep tech startup ecosystem understanding. And two, create success stories through Salwa, through Dr. Abdullah Shimri, through Syed, so that they could be leaders and they could galvanize a full community of deep tech startups to come by. Thank you very much. And we would love to hear from you once you have gone through this talk. So you can go ahead and reach out to us. And Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much.